Hey traders, welcome back to the FXE YouTube channel. Last night one of the greatest things happened to me. I went full risk on sales, took a lot of nice profits, was in a really good mood, started chatting with some friends, which I haven't done in ages, and then eventually passed out. And I just woke up like maybe 20 minutes ago. I haven't done that in ages. I completely slept through Asia session. Usually my mental clock wakes me up at Asia session and I jump out of bed, get on the charts, see if there's any trading opportunities. But that didn't happen last night. And I completely feel refreshed. So I feel like today's going to be a good day. And to be honest, yesterday we have some new things on the chart that I noticed, and we have some potential really nice trading opportunities for today. So today I'll go over the recent price action and talk about some potential trading opportunities. But first, hit that thumbs up button and subscribe if you haven't already. Now let's get into it. So let me try to go through this really quick because it's really late and I want to get this video out there before London session. But anyways, for fundamentals, we have CPI in Germany today, we have Euro retail sales, and then in New York session, Powell's going to be speaking. Looking at the yields, you can see they're starting to come down. So we had that pullback that I was talking about that came into the daily fair value gap. Thereafter, price did shift and start coming down. Today is starting to pull back for the time being, but my guess is it'll probably continue down at a later stage. So this is going to put, where is my ES? Need to have this here just to remind everyone. So this should put some pressure on the dollar to start coming down. Now if we go to DXY, I'm going to start on the hourly time frame. So what you can see yesterday, after my video, we continued to the upside and then we had a nice pullback. So we created a new fair value gap after my video was posted, and that's the fair value gap that price came into before it shot to the upside. And then after that we had a lot of consolidation, but if you look closely, what we really had is a shift in the market. So we had a shift in the market, then one last pullback, and then a drive down during PM session. And since then we had the market close, and then Asia session has been slowly, correctively pushing the price back up to the upside. So for me, this is a pullback. And looking at the area that it came into, so we have a lower time frame fair value gap that I'm going to remove on this time frame, and we're currently in 1 hour supply. Now if we go into the 15-minute time frame, this is where it gets a little more interesting. So you can see, so first we had that drive down. The drive down actually came into 1 hour demand, and that's where we reacted off of, and that's where we've been correctly pulling back from. And then you can see price came up into the supply area. So we're currently in an hourly supply, but inside that hourly supply we're currently in a 15-minute fair value gap, and we have a 15-minute supply above that. And we also have the highs, which can potentially be used as liquidity before driving to the downside. So I'm looking at this as bearish structure for DXY, mainly because yes, it's coming off of hourly demand, but you look at the way it's coming up, it's really corrective, and my feeling is this is just a pullback for the next push to the downside. So we're currently in the fair value gap. There is a possibility that we see a shift here and come down from here. There's also a possibility that we come up a little higher into that 15-minute supply and then come down. And then there's also the possibility of coming to the supply, start to do some enticement, and thereafter sweep the liquidity. And then, I mean, we probably won't even have a shift. It'll probably just drive down from there. So that's what I'm looking at today, to see if DXY can do any of these and drive the price down. And if it drives the price down, then you can see this hourly fair value gap is holding. Our downside targets are the lows. So this is, I mean, clear and simple for me. If we get that shift and reversal, it's likely going to eventually find its way to the sell side liquidity. So if we move on to EU now. So on EU, I'm going to start on the hourly time frame. So what do we see on the hourly time frame? So my video yesterday was posted somewhere, around this time. So around this time I posted that video because we had that pullback on EU as I was posting the video. And thereafter we drove to the downside, coming into some, I believe it was we had something that we were coming up, down from. Can't remember what it was. Maybe it was just this fair value gap right here. Not sure. No, it was lower. Not really sure what we were coming up from. But anyways, we were coming up. No, I remember it was DXY. So DXY came into that hourly fair value gap and started to have a reaction. And that's when we had that initial push to the upside. So that's when I posted the last video. And then since then, we drove down really aggressively to the downside at London Open. Hit the sell side liquidity. And then at that point, we started to have a reaction. So when we had that reaction, I jumped into longs. The only problem was I didn't take profits because I was looking at these targets to be hit. I failed to zoom out on the 1 hour chart, and that was my mistake. But you can clearly see that drive to the downside after I posted my video. It created an hourly fair value gap. And that's clearly where we reacted off of and reversed from. And to be honest, I should have known better. I should have known better because the way price was pushing up, it didn't have those aggressive impulses pushing to the upside. It's very obvious it wasn't going to shoot to the moon. But somehow I held it, got stopped out break even, and was sitting there thinking, what the hell? But anyways, after reviewing the charts, I realized my mistake. So I saw the perfect retest of this fair value gap, and then the impulsive move after that. But fortunately, I got on the 15-minute chart, and after that impulsive move to the downside, I saw this 15-minute fair value gap that it pulled back into. So fortunately I saw this, and I got into this sell. And this sell I took all the way down, not here, it pulled back, and then when it came down and retested it, that's when I got out of everything. Anyways, let's get back to the recent price action. So we created a low, had an aggressive pullback, and then created a lower low. So I saw that and I was thinking, okay, it's going to continue, possibly continue to the downside, but I closed out anyways because I didn't want to take that risk because we just filled the fair value gap. And I was thinking, if it continues tomorrow, then I'll just get into another trade. But it's not looking like that anymore because if you look here, broke to the downside, and then we created a higher high. So what's that? That is a shift. So since we had that shift, we had another pullback back into the 15-minute fair value gap, and I was actually on the charts at this time. I just got back on the charts and had a look before I was going to go to sleep and saw that it's pushing down, but I didn't enter the trade, and there's a reason why. So the reason why I didn't enter the trade was because there was a 5-minute supply that was unmitigated at the very bottom, and when I saw the reaction at the fair value gap, I didn't even think about entering a trade because I wanted to see it come lower. But man, if I did enter that, that would have been a really nice trade to end the day. So anyways, let's get back to the price action. So after that second drive to the upside, we came into 1 hour supply. And you can see ever since we came into the 1 hour supply, we started some consolidation, and then not really a shift. We don't have any clear shift here, but you can see it is pushing to the downside now. Here we had a retest of supply, and then now it's coming even lower. Going to the 15-minute time frame. So on the 15-minute time frame, this is where it gets interesting, because now we can see our potential trading opportunities. So I'm looking at this as bullish price action. It is coming off supply, clearly coming off supply. So there is a chance that we may see price come up maybe to here, which is the unmitigated 15-minute supply. Shift and reverse and continue to the downside. So this is a possibility, but looking at the way price has been moving since last night, I'll be looking for longs. So my first area of interest when I got on the charts actually just hit. So I was looking at equal lows that were created right here, and you can see we've come into the 15-minute fair value gap, which is within this hourly demand, and potentially we could see a shift here before driving to the upside. The second area of interest that I'm looking at is this 15-minute unmitigated demand below. So ideally, what I would like to see is consolidation in, let me just draw a new one. So consolidation in this fair value gap. So ideally this is what I would like to see, and we create all these equal lows right here. And then after that, we have one last drive into demand. Probably won't have a shift at that point. And then continuation to the upside. So ideally, this is a scenario that I would like to see. Consolidation in the fair value gap, and then one last sweep coming into the 15-minute demand, and then driving to the upside. But there is another scenario I'm looking at, which is a sweep of this liquidity and coming way down here with our sweep, and then pushing to the upside. So I'm still interested in this 5-minute demand area, because we have this low right here, which could act as liquidity. So it takes out all the early buyers, and then coming deep into the demand before a shift, and then driving to the upside. And if we zoom out once again, so if this is the reversal to continue to the upside, it's clear and obvious where our targets are going to be. It's going to be these equal highs right here, which is going to be our buy side liquidity. Where is it? And then target number 2, there's a reason why we failed to take out this buy side liquidity. So often you have pullback right before a very strong POI, comes back down, does some mitigation, and then drives out up and takes out that POI. So ultimately we should take out the buy side liquidity above as well. So that's where I'll be looking to take most of my profits out. But if we do continue to the upside, have a daily fair value gap above, we have this breaker block as well, and then some more buy side liquidity. So and my fib is gone, so let's just have a look at our premium and discount. I can't get it working. Let me go on the daily. So it's on the daily. Okay, so if we look at the daily fib levels, so this is a daily fair value gap above that I was talking about. We have an order block right here, and we have the breaker block. So coming into this area will bring us already into premium. And then if we go to the top of this breaker block, maybe sweep this liquidity, then we're in OTE. So this is actually a prime area to look for price to get up to before reversing and continuing to the downside. But to be honest, anything above discount is a good level for me. So even if we came back to this order block and started to have a shift, then I would be looking at that shift as a potential reversal to go for the next wave to the downside, taking out the sell side liquidity and creating a higher time frame lower low. Anyways, that's it for today's update. Went through it really quick. It's the first time I've done a one take in a long time, but we potentially have some really nice setups forming right now and potentially some really nice trading opportunities today. Hopefully you guys found value in today's video, and if you did, a like and subscribe would be appreciated. Good luck trading today, and I'll see you for the next one. Peace.
Black Swan.